Welcome
to
another episode of Driving to the Res.
New microphone episode.
Yes, we're testing these new microphones so you can give us some feedback on the sound quality for this episode.
Speaking of feedback.
Oh yes, so recently you may have received a newsletter if you're subscribed from me asking for some feedback for us to move forward with our podcast, and we received a ton of super fabulous emails and information that will be really good going forward.
We can actually go over some of it because it was kind of interesting. Inelia did a fantastic job of compiling it. And one of the questions, I might add, was how to give feedback.
Yes.
So if you're asking for feedback about the mics and the sound quality, which was one of the things.
How do they send, an individual can send feedback to us or a question?
Yeah. Inelia said he's going to put a note together.
Yes, he's
pass it out on the newsletter.
So. On the newsletter. But also what you can do is go to podcasts.ineliabenz.com. When the page loads, go open the menu. There's an About page. Click on the About page, and then you'll have a form at the bottom of the page where you can send questions or send us some feedback. I know it's not very easy to get to.
That doesn't sound very easy. I think Inelia probably put something together a little easier.
Yeah, he'll probably put something together a little easier going forward.
Then he'll send a newsletter out, so be sure and subscribe
to the newsletter at ineliabenz.com.
Then you'll get the answers and how to do feedback and have input.
Yeah, so one of the interesting things that we found, and we did do a few interviews of individuals, we're going to do a few more to get their feedback, individuals who have been listening to every single episode. And we really appreciate all the answers that you sent also. What was interesting to me was that some of the feedback was opposite.
Yeah, some of the feedback was, this is what I really like about the show, and this is what I think should change.
Right.
Which was kind of like,
but different individuals.
We like the show to be very long and rambling, and others we'd like it shorter and condensed.
Yes. Some individuals wanted it longer, more in depth. Shorter. 3 hours minimum.
And some rambling.
Yeah, that they really felt connected and in the car with us. And in the other individuals wanted it condensed and shorter, make the podcast shorter.
So what we kind of tossed up in the air that we'll probably do is something called the Shamashak Chronicles.
Yes.
And we'll have Driving to the Res Shamashak Chronicles edition, which will be like 3 hours, 2 hours. It'll probably have a guest like David Icke.
If we can get him.
Oh, we can get him.
Yeah.
And, it'll go in depth and it'll last for a very, very long time. We'll have to drink water and tea and probably a snack in the middle of the show just to make it. And we'll continue with Driving to the Res Road Trip Edition.
Yes.
Which will be 30 minutes to 40 minutes. And I suppose we could incorporate a little bit of structure, but not too much.
Right. The spontaneity was very popular. But also, again, it goes, and some individuals said more structure, less spontaneity. I can't say that. Yeah. And the other individuals want more of it. So that was really interesting. I don't know, we didn't actually ask about gender, but the age groups were very, very fascinating because we have listeners all the way from 18 to over 90. So that was really fascinating for us. That is amazing. I love that. I love it. The majority are in the age range of 30 to 60. But yeah, it was really fabulous to see that, they were like individuals from all age groups. It was very inspiring to see that. And the other part that we thought was interesting, Larry, would you like to tell them?
I forgot.
Larry forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot.
Still thinking.
The V8 engine.
Oh, didn't forget that. Hot rod.
So
we ought to change our exhaust, get some Borla. stainless steels.
Oh my gosh.
So it gets a real noise going
Oh
here.
my gosh.
And a twin turbo.
Yeah, that was interesting
Then we can have
because
to make that turbo noise.
there was individuals who want less car engine. They can't really listen to the podcast because of the car engine. And other individuals love it, just love the car engine in the background. The driving to the res, as it stands, will continue being in the car, but we are looking and we're testing some new mics today. So yeah, we're gonna see how that goes, but it's gonna be driven in the car because it's part of the reason we started the podcast is that Larry and I, when we're driving, we have been having super fascinating conversations for years now while in the car, and individuals who sometimes drive with us, they say, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And we decided, you know what, I said, Larry, we should record these and share them because these conversations can help a lot of people, and plus they're super fascinating, and we should share them.
No.
No. And Larry said no.
I don't think so.
So it took a few months, but I convinced him in the end. And
yeah, I got a little bit of resistance, but this course we're taking is helping.
Yes.
And of course, I've learned over the years, when Inelia says something, it's almost always, it's always right. So it's best just to go along with it and listen. That's generally my experience. I've yet to find that one time that it hasn't been right. Other than maybe I changed my mind, so I kind of made myself right, but only by changing my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, she's usually right. So if she says something or suggests something, you're not going to go wrong by saying, okay, I'll try that.
It, exactly.
Yeah, I'll try that and see how it works for me.
Yeah.
You'll find that 99.99% of the time, it actually works pretty good for you.
Yeah.
And every now and then it's very uncomfortable to do it, but it still works out for you.
That's true, yeah. There were some also fascinating questions that were made a list of, or Ilia made the list for us, so we're going to be doing quite a few of the podcasts, answering or going into those
a little detail around those questions.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to have topics. That some of the topics, they might work best for a Shamachak Chronicle, like they might go along with the guest that you find.
Right.
Yeah, because like questions about relationships, we might have a relationship person who has good relationship advice that we like.
Yes.
To join us in a Shamachak Chronicle. And then, we can talk for a while.
Yeah.
Pick their brains and maybe change their mind even, who knows. That would be a fun show. One of the shows, maybe we could bring one of my relatives on and teach you how to deal with, I guess we'd call it recalcitrant family members.
I have no idea what you just said.
That was Indian speaking.
Yeah, though you were speaking Indian there. Can you kind of translate that again?
Okay, so how to deal with family members who aren't exactly on board. That was one of the questions, remember?
Yeah, low frequency family members or sleeper family members.
Yeah.
So what did you suggest we do about that one?
Oh, I could bring one of my cousins or something.
Oh, bring in one of your cousins. Yeah. And deal with them online?
Yeah, we'll have it online.
Oh my gosh.
Frequency modulation.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Might be a short show.
Yeah, that would be a very short show.
Oh man. My cousins ain't sleepers.
Yeah. No, they're not. They're cool. All right, so...
That was one of the things that came in my mind was Mary, quite contrary. We could have contrary guest.
A contrary guest?
Contrary guest, and we could convince them, like we often find maybe some of our listeners might find us in this situation where they're having to talk with somebody and they're a little bit this, a little bit that. It's another short one, huh?
I'm going to tell you why.
I know.
Because Larry's talking about convincing these individuals when the advice that I've been giving for months now is let them go, let them have their truth.
They can have it.
Just don't engage at that level. Talk about other things that you both enjoy.
But that bait is so tasty.
I know. Saving our cousins and our parents and our siblings is
Parents,
so
yeah,
tempting.
parents are the perfect one.
They're the perfect bait, yeah.
We could bring my dad on.
Oh my gosh. No, I don't think so. Maybe Sue. I'd love to have
Sue
Sue on
would
the
be
show.
great.
Yeah, she'd be great on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll be awesome.
She'll even agree.
To be on the show?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Won't
she
take a whole lot of convincing.
probably would. No, yeah.
My dad, on the other hand, would be like, I don't think so.
No, he wouldn't. No.
He wouldn't do it.
No, he wouldn't.
He would do it if Sue was doing it. He would chime in when he felt like
he
it.
Wouldn't.
He would chime in when he felt like it, yeah.
No,
he
he
would.
wouldn't.
Yeah. I think so.
No, I don't think so.
Guess we'll do the episode and find out. It's going to be awesome.
What are you going to, I mean, what kind of topic did you want to talk to your dad about online? Or Sue?
Well, with Sue, we can talk about Pleiadians.
Pleiadians?
Pleiadians.
The Pleiadians?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because she's an astronomer,
Uh-huh.
and so she says it's illogical for there to be anything like a Pleiadian, because the Pleiades that you see in the sky, they have a lineup, but those stars aren't even together. They're like a million light years apart, but they just happen to be in a line to make a little thing. So there is no Pleiades place.
Oh,
Right?
so that
she'll
means-
take a logic and what is a Pleiadian anyway? So we can have like an hour figuring out what a Pleiadian is.
That would be interesting. I don't
Yeah,
know.
how do
Send us
you-
your feedback. What do you think?
How do you handle when the science doesn't match up with the words?
Well, the science is interpretive, right?
Sure it is.
And then you can choose things.
Yeah. We have a class about that.
Yeah.
So obviously Pleiadians aren't from every single one of the stars in that area.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be one of the stars in it.
Could be one of the stars, yeah. We would have to explore that one. What are the Pleiadians? What are they
We
doing?
might have to invite a Pleiadian. They drive Subarus.
They do. Why is there so many Pleiadians incarnated as humans right now?
And why are they driving Subarus?
Why are they driving Subarus and eating tapioca? And I can imagine many listeners are going, wait, I have a Subaru and I love tapioca, man. I'm mad over tapioca. Now you know, you're a Pleiadian.
That's the first hint.
Yep. That's hilarious. And again, we got a little bit distracted.
Yeah, so we're taking a class, Broadcast Me Now, and it's part of the inspiration to ask some of these questions because, like Inelia said, we started this show because she wanted to share the conversations that we had, and you know, it's turned out to be quite fun and interesting for me and for her to explore these topics in a way that we recorded. It does alter it a little bit, but there are times when we're doing it that I forget that we're recording.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's very nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
So one of the things that we move away from is scripting so much, but we do move towards topic.
Yeah, we
so-
have moved towards topic
Right,
pretty
so-
much, I think, recently.
Oftentimes when we get in the truck and start driving, we wouldn't say before we got in the car, oh, let's talk about blank. We would just be driving and then some topic would come up.
And we start
about,
recording, yeah.
And then we'd start recording, yeah. So now there were a few topics that were really brought up. We'll touch on them.
Yeah.
I think they're nice. And obviously we digress quite a lot. So don't be too worried that we're going to be topic oriented. Not as bad as that other boy we're listening to, his podcast.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my
I couldn't listen to him.
It's a higher side
Oh my
chat,
gosh.
the newest higher side chat. And the fellow that's on
He
there,
wasn't. The higher side chat guy
the higher
is
side
excellent.
chat guy's fine. Yeah, he's excellent.
awesome. I would highly recommend that podcast.
Yeah, we are actually members of his Patreon
Yes, yes, we do his subscription, so we get the
Subscription,
second
so we get
hour.
the second hour for
Yeah, and that's another thing
Something
that
like
we probably
$7 a month or
propose
something.
for the
For the
Chronicles
3-hour
one.
one.
Yeah, the 3-hour one. We probably do a patron to do that one. But anyways, yeah. So this guy was on that show.
and he's fascinating. He has so many
So
interesting
fascinating,
facts.
man.
But he cannot string together a thought continuously to the end to save his life.
No, it was so
Every
confusing.
thought goes to another thought, goes to another thought, goes to another thought, goes to another thought, And at the end of, I think, 5 minutes,
You have no
like,
idea where you
have
started,
no idea where
what
you
he's
started,
talking
and
about.
I don't know what the point was anymore.
And the questionnaire was never answered.
There was never an answer to that. And it's like when we brought Fred with us last trip, I had him listen to it to see if it was just me. And he just about pulled his hair out. It's like, he's like, it's so close to his point, and then he goes somewhere else with it. Like,
I know, he got so close to answering things.
and then it's
he never actually did. It was so frustrating.
He's talking about a fascinating subject, like Machu Picchu and building it, and that's 5% dug up, and the foundations under the rocks of the
and the soil,
place,
that's intelligent soil.
The place that the rocks are really, really closely squished together. What's that place?
Yeah, it's all
big
over.
Wall.
Yeah, it's in,
not the one in Machu Picchu, but
it's in South America somewhere.
Yeah.
Bolivia, I think, maybe.
Where they have those giant rocks and
Peru.
they're attached to each
Peru
other.
or Bolivia. One of those.
All sides with no mortar, you can't put paper in between. And he said, that's all fine and dandy, but think about the foundation. Because the foundation had to be strong enough to hold all that stuff up, so that implies a certain level of technology to create a foundation to support all that thing through 5, 10, 15, 50,000 years with an earthquake.
And then let me tell you about this foundation.
There's this
before I do
dirt
that,
in
let me
the
just
Amazon.
do
It's
that.
called Pret-a-Port, and that dirt is 20 feet thick and engineered soil to grow stuff with.
And you can find it
with
in Africa, in Europe. You can find this soil everywhere. And then it's like, what happened to the foundation?
They have these boats.
The boats?
They have these boats.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how the foundation works.
Oh my gosh.
And we're going,
oh no.
I just want to hear about the dirt.
Foundation.
I want to hear about the dirt. Tell me about the dirt.
Well, I wanted to hear about the foundation, but yeah.
So we will try not to be quite so sporadic
Fairy-brained.
and fairy-brained.
Yeah.
And we will try to stay reasonably close to topic.
Yes, stay focused.
And so the topic today was the feedback. Are we on the feedback still?
Yeah, oops, we kind of, no, we, yeah.
Reel it
All
in,
right,
honey.
reel it in. So, more feedback. Let me think. What else was there? The things that individuals loved were our honesty, transparency. Oh yeah, there's another one. I thought we could do a podcast because somebody or some individuals asked for us to talk more about our Indian heritage.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we can talk about that. That's pretty fascinating because neither of us grew in a reservation.
No.
But we do have a lot of Indian in us, culturally speaking, as well as genetically. So.
And we live on an Indian reservation.
We do live in an Indian reservation as adults, and that is cool, for us. It's pretty cool. We understand it.
And it's a living culture, not an ancient dead culture.
It's living.
It's a modern, live,
modern
tribal culture.
Yeah. So that's interesting to look at too, and to see the difference between there and then when we go out into the world in a city and see the contrast. The contrast is quite big. We have friends from all races and cultures on the planet, like literally, and it's so fascinating to see how different it all is. So, and that is actually one of the things about Indians or Native Americans. Some people don't like to be called Indians who are Native American. Some people who are Native American don't like to be called Indians, or like to be called Indians and don't like to be called Native American. So that's one of the things. But
everyone's different.
Everyone's different. There is some cultural things, and one of the things I found to be fascinating was that some of my mannerisms, I thought they were just Latino mannerisms or family things that were passed down in my family mannerisms, but I got to the res and people communicate that way too. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then we read a book by a res girl. There's a whole series of novels written by res girls, and they talked. One of them is called Pointing with Lips, I think is the name of the book. And it's really fascinating book if you want to know what it's like to live in a reservation, but also a little bit sad and disturbing because there's a lot of alcoholism and drug addiction and sexual abuse and all these sort of things that are the dark side of any type of very poor neighborhood, right? And probably any neighborhood. But it was a tough book to read. But what fascinated me was that she talked about several mannerisms that people do in the reservation, such as you don't point with your finger. When you want to point at something, you point with your lips. Right? You kind of make a kiss shape with your lips and point towards the object. And that was something that I was taught in my family growing up. Don't point with your fingers, because your fingers are powerful. You point with your lips. So it's like, so that was part of
where that came
I
from.
know where that came from now.
Well, maybe it didn't come from, but why it's so broadly known is because of that, that spiritual connection still exists a little bit, right?
Yes, absolutely.
The magical,
The
spiritual,
magical stuff,
you know.
So yeah, we want to do an episode about what it means to be like a westernized, I suppose, Native American living back in the reservation.
Sure.
That would be an interesting topic.
That might be a good one to have a guest on.
Yeah, it would be. But also the whole concept of, because I found that there's a lot of romanticism around being Native American, thinking that you're more connected and things like that. And that may be true, but there's also a lot of Native Americans or Indians that are not connected. The res here has logging. They log all the trees. They have farms, tree farms that they log, and that didn't carry through with the culture of the looking after the forest. But then again, there are other things that are very much connected. So yeah, it's like one of those very contrasty.
It's a little bit
things.
schizophrenic, I would say.
A little bit schizophrenic.
A little bit schizophrenic.
Yeah. So, and at Res, for example, we talk about Sasquatch, and everybody knows they exist. It's not like it's a question or that anything that has to be proven.
And our new house site is right in the middle of Sasquatch Valley.
Yeah, it is.
Sasquatch Central.
Sasquatch Central, man. That's where our new house is going to be built. We have
Will we have Sasquatch watching on our front porch?
Yes, we will. Yeah.
I guess we'll have a Sasquatch feeding station.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
For having they like squashes and things.
Yeah.
Vegetables.
Squashes, vegetables.
Zucchini bread.
Smoked salmon.
That might be our neighbors are after that.
Yeah. That would be interesting. But yeah, so talking more in depth about all those things would be a very interesting podcast, I think. And again, we lost sight of the feedback. Yes.
Feedback.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the other feedback, honey?
Well, no.
Oh yeah, there's one that was interesting. So some individuals think that we speak too quickly, too fast, and there is, Inelia said that the podcast services, most of the podcast services where you get your podcasts, have an option to slow down the speed of the podcast, so you can actually be very proactive in that way and slow it down yourself.
Alternatively, they also have a way to speed them up. So if you think it's too long of a show, just speed it up.
Yeah.
Talk really fast. You'll get all your information really fast. And another one several wanted us to have our podcast in Espanol. Unfortunately, I don't speak Espanol.
Yeah,
so it'll be half Spanish and I won't be understanding what she's asking.
Me parece que no va a ser en español porque Larry no habla español.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty soon, maybe I'll take some Spanish classes. Well, I'm taking Spanish classes. You can take English classes. We'll meet in the middle. I'll know a little Spanish, you know a little English, and we can communicate.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's not going to happen. Sorry, guys. This is not going to be in Spanish.
Okay. Can we get a babblefish? Isn't there a babblefish thing?
A babblefish you stick in your ear?
Yeah, I think there's a Babble thing you can use nowadays that converts language to whatever language you want. Or was that just a pretend ad?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe we'll look it up. How about the interesting part of this feedback process of actually focusing on a thing that we're doing. You know, I'm sure many people listening have little side projects or side things that they kind of pay attention to and kind of don't pay attention to. It's kind of a part of their life, but not a center of their life.
Can you give us some examples?
Majority of their life maybe is going fishing,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's going to work,
Mm-hmm.
or doing the job that they've been doing up until this time, and then
Mm-hmm.
some portion of their life they're doing that thing that they wish was maybe more of their life, but it isn't.
Like what? Can you give an example?
Like having a podcast. So you know, go to work, you go clean the boat, you fish the boat, you sand the boat, you paint the boat, you get the bait, you get the stuff, you go fishing, and all of the things that you're doing there, you are not really compatible with doing the podcast that we're doing, driving to the res.
Mm-hmm.
Because 1, we're not in the car. 2, you're not with me. And 3, it's way too loud and no signal, and I mean, you're not there anyway, so it's impossible to do the podcast there.
Right, right.
So when we do drive somewhere to do our podcast, that's specifically time that I'm not doing that. So to bring a little less fishing time, a little more podcast attention, we did a physical action to focus it more, right?
Mm,
It brought it more into my attention. I don't know about yours, but doing the Broadcast Me Now course brought focus and attention to creating that structure to be bigger and the
So
fishing to be smaller.
so do you mean do a podcast around changing careers?
Well, I think
Moving direction in life?
do a podcast about
Turning a hobby into an income?
no.
No, I don't understand.
Am I speaking Indian again?
No, it's just that I don't understand what the topic of the podcast would be.
Well, I don't know. I forgot.
Okay. Ooh, 222, mile 222. It's an angel number. If you spot the 222s on your road, then pay attention to what you were just doing.
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't. Oh no. We better turn around, honey.
Oh man.
Oh gosh. I always mess that up. Okay, I'll try to focus.
Focus.
It's a good thing I know how to drive on autopilot.
Yes.
You know what would happen if we had a Tesla?
Oh my gosh.
We wouldn't even know when we got there.
Nope. So everybody who asked for more focused podcast, we
I guess you're out of
apologize. We apologize. I don't
Didn't
think
work
this is
out.
even possible. We'll try, but we're doing our best, but we actually forgot what we were talking about right now. So Larry was talking about doing a podcast about him going fishing and then doing a podcast and getting focused. I don't know how. I mean, that's interesting, right? And I think that,
Well, I think that
there's a lot of things you can
yeah,
do
I
if you
think
want to
that's a
change your
topic.
direction in life. Yeah.
I think that's a topic we could podcast about. It wasn't so specifically my podcast experience doing this instead of fishing, for example. But you know, there's little things that tick our list of the things that we want in our new paradigm existence and in our split experience.
Uh-huh.
And one of them might be spending more time with you and less time away, right?
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, other people have those same kind of things. They would prefer to have more time maybe in nature, or more time maybe
With their
their
family.
family, or more time with their children, or more time with whomever, whatever. And the thing that they've been led...
More time with their honey.
More time with their honey. The thing that they've been led to do by the old paradigm structures actually is
To be away
not
from
that.
them.
It's the opposite of that mostly, right?
To be away from their honey.
To be away from their honey, right? To do things to support their honey. So the best thing you can do is go work twice as many hours and make twice as much as money, so that means your honey will like you more.
I've seen that a lot in men.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I've
that's
seen
an
men
example.
do that a lot.
And they think, honestly, they
They
think
do it for
that's-
love.
I'm
you
really
know?
doing it because
Yeah.
they love her. That's why I'm
Exactly.
leaving.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
So that's a contrary thing, and that's what I'm talking about. Is that would be a good topic.
Honey, do you go fishing because you love me?
Yes, I can buy you pretty things.
There you go, see? Yeah, I think that would be a good topic to talk about. When we do things that
It's
slightly
like the lip
contrary.
service thing we talked about
Yes,
before, where you say you want this, but your actions
doing something
are
else.
doing the exact opposite.
Right, right.
And how you've convinced yourself that that's actually correct.
Yeah,
Maybe some of that. Anyway,
could do that.
that might be a good Chronicles one, because we could bring a few people on for examples. That would be fun. That's a possibility for one of the things that you occasionally do is mentoring, and sometimes you have sessions and things like that. It might be fun to have a volunteer to do a session.
I don't do sessions.
I know, but it might be fun to do that.
No, we wouldn't.
Could be.
No.
Yeah, we could have one of your mentorees
Ease.
volunteer,
Or a student, yeah.
and maybe one of them who's already interested in broadcasting things, like your IB Academy girls. They would probably be perfect
For what?
for a Shamachak Chronicles show.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be like a session. We could kind of explore topics in depth, right? But I don't know about a session.
Okay. Ideas are meant to be brought out
Yes.
and discussed.
Yes. What other suggestions do you remember from our feedback?
Oh, well, you probably should just look at it.
Okay.
Don't I have an email?
Yes. Let's have a look.
Here it is, right here, Annie.
Oops. You found it?
I think so.
I thought I had it on my page. Oh, wow. I can't get in because I'm on airplane mode because we're recording with this one, so yeah,
Here.
let me try yours.
Here.
Okay.
Right now we're
it's
Lake
on
Crescent.
Slack. So I'm on Larry's phone now looking for Slack, which is what the app we use for our group work, company work and stuff with Inelia and Daniela. Oh, it's updating.
Oh,
I guess we don't have access to it.
It's probably on my iPad, honey.
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay.
iPad has it.
Okay, let's have a look. See.
iPad has Slack. My iPhone is I'm trying to manifest a new iPhone. Helping Fred out with that because he's trying to manifest a new one too. We both have. His is newer than mine, I think.
Definitely.
He's got a 6
newer.
and I got a 5 SE.
Yeah.
So we're battling for oldest iPhone.
Yeah.
And trying to decide between 11 and 12. The 12s look the same size as our old ones, so we'll probably be going for a 12.
The 12 mini it's small. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks just like my little phone because one of the most critical points is it has to fit in my back pocket.
Yeah, I think the 12 mini will fit it.
Right. It's really hard to see the screen, but if it fits in your pocket, it doesn't matter.
Alright, so the Slack is not updating.
Oh, because we're at Lake Crescent?
We're in Lake Crescent and there's no Wi-Fi here.
Isn't it nice, if you think about it, to live in a place where oftentimes there's not enough Wi-Fi to get an iPad to function or make a call?
Oh, here it is.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
It's good and it's bad.
Well, that's a whole new podcast. I think we've already talked about the EMF stuff, but that's a whole new podcast. We can talk about that one for hours, I think.
We should have a prepper podcast too.
A what?
If you're going to
Prepper?
stay in the city, what it means to be prepared for that.
Which is not the same as being
Not the
prepared
same,
if you're in the
no.
country.
If you're in the country.
Alright. Let's see, the age group was fascinating to me, like
Okay.
I said earlier. Okay, so things interesting, common, let's see. So one of the questions we asked was, what's your biggest challenge right now that we could talk about and help out with in a podcast?
Right.
There were several: health, money, manifestation, dealing with low frequency relatives, finding a job, finding your tribe, how to find it specifically, death and dying, helping saving family members. So some of these, like the death and dying one, there is actually a class at ineliabenz.com you can go and study. It's very in-depth. There's a couple of them actually. Okay, most interest. The other ones are schooling, parenting, collaborating with Lemuria, psychic abilities, keeping a regular practice, creating a garden, deprogramming, how to be a sovereign. The programming is interesting because the book that I'm writing right now, the Return series, the Earth Files, talks a lot about programming and deprogramming, and I'm reading and we're discussing the first draft of this book at Walk With Me Now.
Yeah, so if you're interested in that topic, for example, getting on Walk With Me Now, if you're just listening to the podcast, Inelia's platform, Walk With Me Now, is where it's like a forum, and
we talk about all these type of
we
things.
talk about all these things in depth, and you can ask directly, hey Inelia, what about this? And she can answer right away directly.
Exactly.
This is the answer to that. She checks it every day.
That's true.
And then this book, The Return, you're getting like each week a new chapter, and then a call about the chapter. We read it and talk about it, and you have the input into how to make this book more readable, understandable, what topics are like, this is the topic that I'm thinking about, like programming or being program-free or being sovereign, or what that looks like, because Amelia said before, she doesn't know what you don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest problems of the information that I bring forth. Is that I don't actually know what people don't know. And so I really love questions because that focuses the attention on topics that are now relevant to other individuals.
Right, so having the opportunity to get input into the book to create the information that comes out to the collective, adjust the collective to, make the paradigm that you want to be in.
Yeah.
So it's not just all about your personal question, it's everyone else also.
Other topics, psychic powers, how to create high-frequency systems with examples, the love, sex, and relationships. We have a whole course on that one. How to stay high frequency, the ET connection. We do love the ET connection.
Oh, we're reading a book every night now.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
But it's a novel.
It's a novel.
But she does actually share
but the
quite a
facts
few truths.
Right.
Not all of them. Not all of them are right, but there's a lot of very resonant information in that one.
I'm enjoying that part.
Yeah, I
like to see the
really
resonant
nice.
information repeated.
Yes. Yeah, I do too.
I like confirmation bias. It's my favorite.
Confirmation bias rocks, man. Okay, shamanism, communicating with Gaia, growing a garden, high-frequency parenting, public speaking, and pest control when the pests are introduced by humans in an environment. Let's see what
That's a pretty specific one.
Yeah, it's very specific.
I think that's a groom of Gaia.
I think so. All right, so what do you enjoy most about the podcast? The honesty, openness, authenticity, playfulness, feeling connected, light-hearted, stories of your everyday life, laughter and jokes. We can count on you. This is quite nice, isn't it, that they can count on us. The regularity of the podcast. Spontaneity, the love, it's human and natural. The soothing sound of the V8 engine. Vroom, vroom. The woo-woo and the warmth. We do have a lot of woo-woo things that we like to talk about, I have to say. Things that can be improved. There were two things. Nothing. It's perfect
Nothing,
as it is.
It's perfect. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
what
like
we're
that
looking
one.
for.
Yeah, we like that one. And the sound quality, which is, I hope today is going to be really good and resolved. Other request, this is funny.
I want to pause there.
Okay.
The sound that we've improved and we've been working on improving, and we have a sound engineer who's also improving his techniques. So everything's been improving as we go, and that was one of the key points of our Broadcast Now class, which was start. Just do it. Just
Just do it. Just do it.
It doesn't have to have the perfect mic. You don't need
Or
the
the
perfect equipment, the
sound.
perfect sound, the perfect anything.
It doesn't matter.
You need to have content that's interesting.
Right.
And you can improve your quality as you go.
Exactly.
But the biggest resistance most people have is to starting, and so they come up with all these equipment lists before they can
they
start.
have a name. They have a name. Technology.
Firewall. Yeah.
Resistance.
Resistance.
The technology resistance, they call it.
So if you're sitting on the fence trying to start something and do something, and you need this camera or that camera or the perfect this to do it,
the mic.
don't bother.
Yeah. Just do
start.
it.
And as you go, things will improve.
Exactly.
Just allow the process to take place.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, you just won't ever even start.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just called resistance. And resistance is futile.
You will be assimilated. Okay, so shorter and more concentrated. More than one made this comment, which is funny because some of the other feedback we had was make it longer and more in depth.
Longer and more in depth and more in.
Yeah.
So I guess we have to do both.
We've had people who said, we want you to start the introduction and just get on with it. Tell us what the podcast's about and just talk about it.
Just get into it.
Just
get into
it, get it over with. And another person said, we love the rambling and the conversation, the casualness of it, because it brings us in, it makes us feel connected, and then you go into the details of the information, and that's great. You know, but what we love is the actual connection. So, and I think and I suspect it's broadly true that it was gender specific. So men like it, the thing to be very focused, no preamble, no introduction, just get on with it, tell us what the podcast is going to be about, and then just talk about that for the rest of the podcast. And the women so far have been, can you just make it more conversational, more in depth, a lot of them more in depth, longer, so 2 or 3 hours please, and more in depth exploration of each topic. So that was interesting to me. So we talked about a little bit the speaking too fast and how you can fix that, better focus, following an outline. They want more guided meditations. Yeah, we can put more guided meditations as bonus ones during the week.
It's really kind of hard to do a meditation while I'm driving.
Exactly, you can't drive and meditate.
It's just not.
It's not safe. Include call to action in each podcast. That's very true.
Oh, good idea. We did a call to action in one of them.
Yeah.
We didn't call it a call to action, but we did it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We have. So we should do that. It's absolutely excellent feedback. We should do that.
Can you think of an action call this time?
This time, call to action?
What would someone do if they haven't done it? They ought to do it.
So,
I thought that was reasonably good call to action. If you've been sitting on the fence and you got technology resistance and you want to produce and discuss or talk about something, but you're waiting on something.
Oh, it's not just even about broadcasting. Some individuals have been planning to change jobs. Right, or get a relationship.
They're going to change job when they get this, or they'll win that, or
so
this other. Or
I'll only look for a husband when I lose weight, for example.
Right.
Or I'll only get a wife when I get a really good job.
Right.
Or I'll only change my job when, add your excuse here.
I'll go find my tribe when
XYZ.
I'll move
when
I retire or whatever. I mean, I'll move when things get really bad.
Right, or when I find the perfect place. Guess what? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
How many places have we lived since we moved?
The perfect husband doesn't exist. The perfect wife doesn't exist.
Right. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do whatever it is.
You can change your mind after.
And if when you've done it and you're doing it, things don't work out the way you want, change your mind, do something different. It's okay. You just go through this period of try it out. Mm-hmm. You know what happens when you try it out? Sometimes it works out great.
It does, yeah.
Even better than you imagined.
Absolutely, yeah.
And sometimes you say, actually this isn't really what I want. Yeah. I'm glad I got that out of the way. I don't have to spend 5 years making this huge plan to do it, and then it don't even like it.
It doesn't like it, yeah.
One time I have heard, sometimes like I want to buy a new car, but I don't know which one. You can go rent a car and try it out.
Yes.
And that's like a fast thing, right? Mm-hmm. Or I'll get a bad deal if I go do it. How am I going to buy a car? I need my dad to go, but he won't go because he's always busy, so I don't buy a car. Just go, and I'll promise you something. Your dad is going to say, oh, You're going to get a car without me? And he'll show up.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yes, that happens.
Anyway,
Yes.
yeah, so the call to action this week would be just that thing that
Just
you
do it.
haven't done because of something else.
Just do it.
Know that something else is resistance, and just do
Just
it.
do it, yeah.
Okay, that's a good call to action.
Yeah, that's a good one for this
Do you
week.
have anything like that on your list?
On my list?
Yeah, something that you planned on doing but you have resistance about.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
What?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Hmm.
I just do.
You just do?
And I complete stuff. Yeah, like that.
We did have some resistance.
For what?
And I'll tell you how we overcame it. We had resistance to putting together our EMF curtain. I had
Yes.
resistance about the cost.
Yes.
So I figured out how to buy it the cheapest way I could find.
And
and
it
that
wasn't
came in
necessarily
fabric.
the best one, yes.
And so the fabric had to be cut and sewed to put together over top of our bed. And getting it to do that, we had resistances because how is it going to hang? Is it going to what? Is it whatever? So
And
we
they had to be rounded.
bought a metal frame thing, right?
We did.
So that would make it easier for us to get our whatever, right?
And it didn't work.
Our canopy thing. And so our fabric still sat next to the bed and it didn't get done. And we were getting cumulatively more EMFs on us.
Yes.
And then one day, what do? It was like, oh, just buy the right one already built. And so we didn't spend less. We spent twice as
Or,
much.
yeah, trying to save money.
Trying
we
to save money,
actually doubled it.
it was just resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't mess around.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just take care of business.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our resistance, was getting that EMF thing up.
Yes.
And now, oh my gosh. I mean, I literally feel a difference in my day.
Yes.
I mean, it is absolutely
amazing.
unmistakable.
Amazing.
There are about 20 projects around the house that I've been wanting to get busy with.
Well
And I
done,
walk
man.
by them and look at them, and then I walk by the next one, and I walk by the next one, and I walk by the next one, all the while watching Hopi do all these jobs, Maybe because he lives in a EMF container.
Yeah.
he
he
has
gets
a-
proper sleep, man.
He gets a proper sleep.
That's funny.
Anyway, yeah, made a world of difference.
Oh, I think I may have done some noises on my mic. Sorry about that, guys.
Quit fiddling, honey.
I know. Okay, another 3, I think. So invite guests.
Yes.
That's another one.
David
like
Icke.
David Icke.
Also on Rasha.
Yeah.
Who
Oh,
else
yeah.
do you want?
Russia would be a great guest, I think.
Yes, I think she'd be awesome.
Ooh, I know who I want.
Who?
The Six Killer lady.
Oh, yes.
Andy Six Killer.
Artie.
The ET
Artie
lady.
Six
Artie.
Killer.
Artie Six Killer, the ET lady.
Absolutely. We're definitely calling
Yes,
her.
we're definitely going to call her, man.
How
She's
about
awesome.
the baby communicator boy girl?
Yes. The Cradle books.
Cradle to Grave, yes.
Yeah, the Cradle
That would be
books.
excellent. And the higher side chat boy.
Totally. He would be
excellent
awesome.
to talk to. He's been exploring it. He was working at a GameStop, whatever, the video game store.
I don't
He
know
was a
which
manager.
one.
Yeah, one of
He's
them.
awesome. I like him.
Yep.
He's great.
He has great
Okay,
shows.
so we got a whole list now of people. And if you can think of any other people that you might like us to
guests.
to
And why? Not
interview.
just, hey, this
yeah,
person.
exactly.
Like,
Tell us
this
why.
person, why? Give me some detail. She's got a great
Details.
book. She's got a
Uh-huh.
great YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Watch this. Check this out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because, you know what you know, but I don't know what you know.
Exactly. Yeah. So that would be good.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
The next one is talk about your Indian origin some more. We already discussed that one. How do I ask follow-up questions? Yeah, so that's a little bit complicated right now, but it's probably going to get simpler. Ilia will probably fix this, but at the moment, you go to podcasts.ineliabenz.com, you open the menu there, and you go to About page, and at the bottom of that page, there's a form that you can fill out with your questions and feedback.
Or you can go to Walk With Me Now and
Yes.
then join with Talk With Me Now, and then you just
instantly
text
and we have your question, man. Yeah, just go to Walk With Me Now.
it. That'll work too.
It's almost like a patron,
It is basically a patron.
Yeah.
Walk with me now. You get all the courses. You get talk with me now.
You get everything.
Anything and everything that you could want for the last all of it since creation,
including daily contact with us. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So when mailing podcasts, include links to videos and products. Yes, absolutely. We're going to do that. Totally gonna do that.
We are.
And again, stay more focused. That's the list, and thank you, Inelia, for compiling the list for us.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Excellent work. Overall, I think our feedback says that we do a reasonably good job.
Yeah, it's brilliant feedback. You guys are really enjoying the podcast, which is good. And thank you for assisting us in a growth spurt
in this process. Yeah, I think it's definitely a co-creation, right?
Huh?
It's definitely a co-creation.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's like we started because we had interesting conversations in the car, but now it's way more than that. You know, I feel very connected with our listeners, and it's like a family now. It's cool, and I like the fact that we're addressing things that are relevant to individuals who are listening to the podcast. I like that a lot.
That could be something to talk about.
What?
If people want to jump into the Shaman Chat Chronicles and be a guest.
Oh yeah, if you want to be a guest, tell us why.
If you want to come and chat for a half hour, an hour, or 3 about
3
interesting
hours.
things.
Yeah.
You know how to get a hold of us.
I can think of several people already.
Oh, I can think of quite a few. Yes.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay. I think we have a lot of growth ahead of us.
Yes, we do. It's going to be awesome.
This is how you find your tribe.
Yes, this is
By the
exactly
way.
how you find your tribe. That's awesome. All right, so go to ineliabenz.com for the newsletter, for all my material there. If you want to take it to the next level, go to ibenzacademy.com. And if you want to support us and also be a co-creator in all these things and have amazing conversations and have your direct feedback and input and conversations with us, go to walkwithmenow.com. That's where you can find us. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube and do the little bell click so that you can get notified when we put the new podcasts up, or other YouTubes. Our Facebook page too, and also we plan to do more spontaneous live chats on YouTube and Facebook. Those were very, very popular, and we're going to do more of those. So yeah,
it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to be found on Facebook while you're, scrolling around, and then ding,
ding.
No, he's having a live chat. He can pull you out of the swamp. Sometimes Facebook is a swamp.
Yes, Facebook can be a little bit of a swamp.
Sometimes.
Yeah, and Inelia arranged it so that our broadcast comes out instantly, both in YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Both are live. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was really cool. Thank you, Inelia, for that.
Ilia's doing a bang-up job.
He is, yeah.
I'm very
happy.
Okay.
It's a team. It's a team.
I feel like we're complete. I don't think we need any more touches.
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Complete.
Love you, honey.
I love you too, darling.